What's poppin', y'all? This is Deidre with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to take. As I always say, you get two choices: the ability to faithfully settle in the life that has been set out for you, or the ability to pave a path towards your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters and even the ones in the back. I see y'all too. So look, the title of this video is going to be on to inform people of things that they may miss when you are amongst the presence of people that have every common goal and mission on stealing your soul. You know what I'm saying? These dark individuals operate in a certain set of evil traits that if you are not conscious, awoke, and paying attention, you will miss, and you will easily succumb to their triad of destruction that they use to corrupt people into joining their alliance. You feel me? So listen, first things first, whenever you're in a setting of people, always pay attention. But do it in a way to where people don't know you're paying attention. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes these people congregate in groups. They also have the tendency to be alone, but not for too long. You know what I'm saying? If you catch them by themselves, it'll only be for a short period of time because they are only the strongest when they're amongst other people that operate and think like they do. You know what I'm saying? Listen, they have every intention of letting you know in a way where if you can see it, that they're not the most pleasant people to be around. But at the same time, they're very tricky and slick on how they convert people to get to a point to where they have no shield against their soul. They have no wall. It's easily manipulated if they are allowed to come in and manipulate it. So for instance, what I've noticed is that oftentimes these people, they sit in groups and their conversations are based off of pointing out the flaws in other people, pointing out all the things that they deem to be wrong about someone else, which may actually be wrong with them, but they can't see themselves. Their whole group functions off of pointing it out at other people. And if you're slick enough, you might just, feel their energy being projected to you, lift your head up and catch them looking at you. They will not look away because they are trying to convert your soul. So if you give them the slightest eye contact for too long, they'll basically have the power that they need to basically sniff out your insecurities and figure out a way to penetrate them to get you to start, hanging out with the group. Because you got to think about it. These people are very internally dark people, but you can't go around being mean to people, or else, you know what I'm saying, people will catch on to the reality of the mask you hide behind. So you often have to convert the most nicest, softest, sweetest soul that you can find, and you make them basically the leader in the group. Means they know how to say the right things, they know how to do the right things, they know how to make you feel so good about yourself, right? Until it gets to a point where one of these people in the group are denied access to something that they're available to do, which means someone has told them no. Someone has told them they can't have this. Someone has told them no, that's not okay. And watch how all masks slip and their true identities are revealed. Now, if you have not built up the resistance inside yourself, what will happen is they will have you stuck in the illusion as if what you're seeing is not the reality of how these people are by willing you in with something, whether it's something that they know you like, something that gets to you, that's soft, that's dear to your heart. And what happens is the way they shift it so fast, you become in an illusion to what just happened, and they will you back in. You know what I'm saying? And they play nice, and so you tend to ignore the mask you seen just slip, which is really their true identity. You know what I'm saying? And listen, the often crazy part about the whole situation is the fact that they know exactly what to say and what to do. You know what I'm saying? To get people to want to be around them and click up with them. But see, here's the thing. When you're not strong in who you are, say they chose to take, like, the person that's really nice to people, which is often people who have a good soul, right? But they're trying to get it to be corrupt like them. So they know exactly what to say, exactly what to do, right? But because they know these people to be a good soul, what happens is they oftentimes take their evil tactics and play on this person's soul. So if that person has, like, abandonment wounds, mommy issues, daddy issues, what happens is they pour into them, they feed into them, they make them feel good, and then they pull away. And you're left feeling a certain feeling of everything that you already felt your whole life. Now, if you don't know how to get a head on your shoulders to try to heal that, what's happening is they're reflecting more of your wounds back to you that you are not ready to heal. So they'll detach from you and go feed that attention and pour it into someone else. And you're left with that feeling. Now, you can either ignore it or you can choose to acknowledge it, because these people are being a mirror to you of the very exact things that you're still healing from. But the only thing is, they're not healing. They've sold their soul to corrupting you on purpose. And then you be, you know what I'm saying, processing it, going through it on your own. Right when you get to the point of you trying to analyze and figure out what it is, they come back in. You know what I'm saying? And they, hey, let's do this. Hey, let's go outside. Hey, I got this, I got that. And you're stuck right back in the illusion because you didn't even have the necessary time to process exactly what you were feeling alone. Because these people are very aware that all it takes is time for you to be by yourself to process what's actually going on. So they have to be able to come back in to keep you trapped in the illusion. Their whole main mission is for you to sell your soul and give it to them. And that is how they form their packs to become bigger. The more that they have the people that, you know what I'm saying, are sweet souls, that it takes a lot for them to actually go through before they turn into an evil person, or they just not evil at all. Kick it with us. And we're gonna mirror your wounds back to you every single day until at some point you become just like us. You start sitting in our circle, picking on everybody, making everybody feel less than behind their back. But when they come into your presence, you smile and give them compliments and make them feel good about themselves so they have no idea what's truly going on. And a lot of people want to be in a space where they feel good and idolized by someone. So if someone gives them a compliment, they walk right over to them. And that's exactly what they need. That all they need is, I say, a minimum of maybe 30 seconds to look you in your eye and have you thinking that this is the group for you. And then over time, what happens is they've already studied you. They've already peered into your soul. They already know your weaknesses. And so once you start kicking it with them enough, they're going to mirror back to you the weaknesses that you struggle from still. You can keep being blind and acting like you don't see them, but you'll feel it in your internal system. It'll give you a warning like, damn, I don't like that. Or damn, I ain't cool with that. Now, the illusion is for you to get wheeled right back in with something that's nice to get you to think that that's not what's really going on, that you don't even have enough time to process and analyze. Why is it that when these people are not giving you the attention and glorifying you and telling you what you want to hear, you're left feeling everything that you've ever felt your whole life without understanding and realizing what is it about these people or this group, you know what I'm saying, that is showing to me that I have not yet healed, which is actually a direct mirror to your soul. You know what I'm saying? These people are very clever and very strong at what they do because they were once people that had those same sensibilities, had those same, you know what I'm saying, traits. But people used and abused them so much that they turned into these people that their whole mission is to only feel validated and good about themselves by willing people in. They're not a good group by themselves, because oftentimes what happen is they're all have a ability to show dark traits, so they start turning on each other and they start to see the dysfunction and realize, oh shit, this is what's going on. We need to find a victim fast, somebody with good spirits, and you know what I'm saying, the ability to uplift us. Otherwise, we're gonna turn on each other and we're gonna lead our own selves down a state of destruction. That's not the motive. That's not the mission. That's not what we're trying to do. So make sure you find them, scout them out. But it's getting to a point in reality where people are having the ability to see these people for who they are solely because they play nice for a very long time. They absorb the traits of people with good souls. They know how to be polite. They know how to say thank you. They know how to do all that. But when you see the mask fall is when you tell them something about themselves or you tell them no. They get extremely volatile as far as speech, and they start to basically throw all the things piled up inside of them towards you, so strictly just because you gave them an answer that they didn't want to hear. Everything that they're labeling you with, everything they're calling you out on, is not actually you for real. It's actually all the things that's pent up inside of them that has turned them evil over time, and they will use that against you. And you have to be able to have your glasses on and look past that, because these people, again, they basically survived in life off of fear and corruption, of basically mirroring back to other people their insecurities. And people tend to fall for that because it's an easy trap. You know what I'm saying? It's an easy trap to be addicted to someone that mirrors the same insecurities you have inside yourself, because maybe you're not ready to heal them, or maybe you don't look at them as insecurities. You look at them as perfectly okay, normal human traits. And they know that. You feel me? But over time, you sucked into their circle, you'll start to feel depleted, because your body's internal mechanism will let you know everything that you choose to ignore, and you'll start to feel tired around them. You start to feel as if, you know what I'm saying, your body can't wrap in good energy. You're always hungry, you know what I'm saying, you're always tired. You can't never function normally, you know what I'm saying, in life, because they are intended on making sure that you personally, you know what I'm saying, fall for their whole little mechanism system that they got going on. It's intended and designed and set up like that on purpose. So you have to be mindful and aware of these type of people. Otherwise, you're going to lose in the end, and they're going to win, because they're stronger in numbers, but they are not strong by themselves. So be mindful and pay attention, because a lot of the times they have spiritual tricks under their sleeve. And that is to make you think and assume that they are good people by the mask they put on, because they know how to flip really easy and give you everything that you desire and want, only to flip it on you when they're in a bad mood or when they're feeling a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? And then they show your insecurities to you, and you be left feeling everything all over again. But that is the time period where you take to heal, because if you don't, they're going to suck you back in, and it becomes a game of back and forth, to the point that you become so sucked in, you sold your soul. Now you basically play the games that they play. You're not really nice for real, you're not really honest for real, you don't like being told no. You basically trick people into giving you whatever you want, and the moment they second guess or think opposite or challenge or tell you about yourself, the mask falls, and they get to see you for real. And then that gets boring, and you no longer want to deal with them if they're consistent on their behavior. But if they lapse somewhere, you think you have a way or small gap to get back in, to get them to convert over to your team. Again, be mindful and understand that these people's sole mission is to snatch souls. They are very strong together, but they are very weak individually. You know what I'm saying? And they know when someone has the ability to see through their facade, because they will detach from you before you get the chance to detach from them and move on to someone else who's not understanding of the game that they're playing. And then they come right back in. Listen, I'm telling you, hey, they've been keeping us blind to what's really going on. And we got so many dark people that's operating the world and operating us, and we can't even see it. We can't listen. We be so blind. We be thinking these people got our best, highest regard and their deepest condolences and the best for us. No, oftentimes they're using our mental state of not understanding reality by tricking us into believing they're for us when really they're for themselves. And we get left looking dumb every time. And ain't nobody strong enough to say anything, because you got to think about it. These people, they operate the strongest when people are quiet and don't call them out on their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And call them out on their wrongdoings. They tend to trick their mind into thinking that what they're doing is effective and working because you're not saying anything. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm telling you, when your energy get to a certain point, they know how to not physically directly affect you, but they'll do it on a spiritual level. And you got to be able to look through that and pay attention and react in a way where you're not going to get through on this level either. You know what I'm saying? You may be too in fear to approach me in the physical, but you're not going to get to me in the spirit either, because I'm aware of how they move. They like filth. They like disgust. They like nasty. They like dirty. They like all that. All that is appealing to them. You know what I'm saying? Because they know that if you're someone that keeps yourself together, you'll be able to see through the lies and you won't stop or give up. And I'm telling you, listen, their groups are starting to turn on each other. You feel me? Because too many people are calling them out on, you know what I'm saying, the crazy inability they have to go completely insane when you tell them no, or when you tell them they can't do something. You know what I'm saying? They get so irate and mad that they start to just pour and trauma dump everything onto you that's not even really truly you for real. Like I said, you just gave them an answer they didn't want to hear. So they trauma dumped on you. And if you're not strong enough inside yourself, you'll tend to consume that and feel a certain type of way. And then they're back to the top of the game board with doing their tactics all over to get you to fall for them. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I have never experienced life to this degree. But when I see it, I'll be paying attention. I just be aware, like, these people pretend and play like they the nicest, sweetest people in the world. You know what I'm saying? They just so nice and everybody love them and people be doing stuff for them, making them feel comfortable, but it's not to give you back that. It's to consume you, to get you to bow to my feet while I continue to be an evil person towards you, because I'm really evil for real. But I wouldn't be able to get you in if I didn't play nice. And that's how tricky it can get. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm telling you, the best thing you could do in life is heal your wounds by taking time by yourself to figure out what is making you react that way. What is making you feel that way? Only you know the answer. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it comes from the wounds we suffered as children. But we grown now. We can't keep using that as an excuse for the choices we make as an adult. Now, understanding healing does take time. You might straddle the fence a little bit. You might go back to fully identify what you exactly going through. And then you spend time alone and it starts to make sense. And you start to wake up to reality of what's going on. Damn, they trying to siphon my soul to get me to be like them, but I'm really not like them for real. I just got lost in life and I was consumed and kidnapped by people that wanted to use my soul to benefit their life. Listen, I'm telling you, the younger, the better. And the more nice you are, the more, you feel me, you got a good spirit and you see people as people regardless of what you went through, they consider you as an easy target. You know what I'm saying? So I feel as if truly it's a battle of dark and light. You can't just be all light and you feel me, be quiet and let people disrespect you, because sometimes people are so mentally insane in their head, they start to think that, you feel me, that's what fuels their behavior. They start to think, oh, as long as you be quiet, I can shoot you any way I want. And they will never have the ability to reflect. But when you start speaking up, you know what I'm saying, and telling people about themselves and how it is, they're not used to that. They siphoned our energy off of our quietness. I think now is the time you speak up and say something. Now be mindful and aware that silence is also effective too when you want to keep yourself out of drama. You know what I'm saying? Keep yourself from attaching to certain energies that is doing things on purpose to get a reaction from you. You know what I'm saying? And the moment you give them that little bit of 5-second attention, oh, it's over for you. You feel me? So I feel as if it's a matter of really truly knowing yourself, knowing when to talk, knowing when not to talk, knowing, you know what I'm saying, when to engage, when not to engage. It's a really strictly strong balance between dark and light. You feel me? But they're both needed in this world to survive. Because if you operate in one too much, you basically, you feel me, give yourself away to the people that target that. You get what I'm saying? Listen, these people are at an all-time high now and they're out to snatch souls, and I'm sorry to, you feel me, point it out in a certain type of way, but it tends oftentimes to be older people who are just really on a mission to steal souls, right? They're old and they're evil and it just felt like it was never no comeback. But don't be too in disguise, because it ranges in everybody. I'm talking little kids, older kids, teenagers, adults, middle-aged adults, older people. Like, people have been skilled on how to hide their mask in the shadows by basically studying human behavior and operating in a way to where the people they were siphoning energy from wouldn't be able to tell who they really were for real. So you have to be vigilant. And the number one skill is learning yourself, knowing what makes you tick, knowing where your triggers are. I promise you, ain't nobody gonna know that better than you. Not no psychiatrist, not your mama, not your daddy, not your siblings, nobody. Your best friend, your spouse, nobody. Nobody is gonna know that better than you. And once you reflect that to the world, now people start to get an understanding of who not to play with. You feel me? I listen, and you just it's going to take people talking about you. They going, you feel me, spread rumors. These people are people who put people down to find their triggers so that they can zone in on them. You have to be understanding of the fact that when people really don't know you for real, that those are just things that they're using to target your energy. You know what I'm saying? And what other person that knows you better than you? You. You feel me? So listen, be very mindful that they're on a hunt now because their masks are falling to the ground. And people, even children, are being able to see the disguise that they hide behind all the time. You know what I'm saying? Just for them being able to be themselves. So just for the people out there that's, trying to find their foot in life, trying to, you know what I'm saying, change their life around. I'm telling you, the triggers are in you. And you cannot understand that about yourself if you're not spending time with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Balance. So then you can figure out truly, for real, what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? And I tend to not realize that for a long time because I always wanted to be around people because I felt abandonment. I felt as if I got validation from not being depressed by being around people that I thought truly care about me. You know what I'm saying? But it's the way energy is, it's not them truly caring about you if you need them. You know what I'm saying? But if they been attracted to you, like simply you just being yourself, those are oftentimes the people that are able to pour into you like you pour into them, and the energy matches. So you won't leave feeling depleted. You won't leave feeling less than because they've been attracted to you due to who they are inside. You feel me? I promise you, you'll be able to tell. You'll be able to know who's really for you and who's not. But I'm telling you right now, be careful. These soul snatchers, they run in groups. They sit around and they're evil. They talk about people. They don't never have nothing nice to say. And the only time that they do is to portray to people that they are nice people to will you in. And once your soul is right where they need it to be, sometimes you can't even tell when they're making you see all your wounds reflected back to you. And it is not until you take that time where you probably felt like that because they took their attention off of you and focused on someone else that you felt everything that you've been running from smack you dead back in your face. And you don't sit with yourself long enough to process that's what's happening before they come back in and the whole cycle starts all over again. So listen, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.